Hello and welcome everybody to the Immaterial Gamers Podcast, episode 196. Hey Ryan, it's almost the big
Yeah.
200.
All right, cool.
Are we doing anything special for the 200?
I don't know. I'll see what I can figure out. That being said, the big 200 is going to be on a day, isn't it? It's going to be on the new podcast day, right?
Yes, it will definitely be on the new. Yeah, it will be on a Sunday. At
Here
least
I am.
the live will be on a Sunday because in
Hi everyone.
not the coming up weekend, but the weekend after that is actually when we start doing Sundays.
Sunday.
Sunday. Which maybe we'll get more people actually, because it might actually be a little bit better for some people, because some of you people work Monday to Fridays.
Well, you know what I'll do? I'll post in the group Discord and basically say, look, podcast 200 is on such a date. We want as many people as possible.
Maybe we'll have 6 people.
It's gonna absolutely crush your scene settings.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a scene for 6 people. That'd be kind of neat, because you'll actually get to fill the whole screen.
Yeah.
It won't be one of these awkward ones where it doesn't fill the whole screen. But yeah, so audio looks like it's doing pretty good. Trying some new audio settings. So,
Cool.
Seems to be working. Yeah, so the big 200 is in 4 weeks. What day is that going to be? I don't even know. I'm not doing the math right now.
Hold on, right, so hold on, so well done. Right, so we're on this is live as we're recording on the 3rd of May. So
Yes.
that's 196. When is your first Sunday?
My first Sunday would be the 16th. Well, the 15th, sorry.
The
16th is my first day.
So that's actually, so this is the last weekday podcast then. This is the last weekday live cast.
No, we can do the next one. We can do the next one on...
Oh yeah, hold on, yeah, you're right.
I work this weekend coming up. So the next one's on Monday the 9th, which would be the 97. Then the 98
it would be
would
actually be Sunday the same week.
Yeah. Which will be interesting because there's going to be 2 that week.
Yeah. So that's
well, it depends on what kind of calendar you go by. If your calendar starts on a Sunday, like most people's calendars do, technically that's the next week.
Yeah. So the last podcast then, the 200th podcast would be
the 22nd.
The Sunday of the 29th.
22nd. Oh no, the 22nd is the 99. Yeah.
Yeah.
So right at the end of the month.
And then,
right at the end of the month.
Sorry, that's Brooklyn 99, not.
So, do you notice anything different about my camera?
I do. You're in the void.
A little bit. I'm in the sparkly void.
Oh no, you've turned off the void now. Hold on. You're back in you're in blurry background blur vision. Oh look, where go my hands?
Yeah, but look, the camera, it follows.
Oh wait, hold on.
My camera wouldn't do this before, so
your autofocus is working now.
Yeah. Do you know what that means, Ryan?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
What does it mean?
What does this mean?
It means we can have an epic dance off. Jesus, we are.
It means my graphics card came in. And
it did.
Last week during the podcast with Duncan, I think it was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Mine and Duncan. Yeah.
Yeah, because I wasn't able to make it because I was already in bed by the time you went.
Yeah. So last week when we were in the middle of the podcast, all of a sudden FedEx decided to call me and say, "Hey, your graphics card's coming tomorrow."
Leave those kids alone. Wait, sorry.
So
all in all, you're just another brick in the wall. Sorry, I had to get that out of the way.
So yeah, right after the podcast, or no, the day after the podcast, my graphics card came in. So now I get to review my shiny new GeForce RTX 3070 Ti.
Yeah. Bench test it. So you bench tested it, yeah?
I did.
Okay, and how did it work?
Well, we already knew that my CPU is older than hell. So, the CPU part's holding me back. But, actually, let me see if I can get my results. I used a benchmark program in Steam. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust them that much, but at least it gives you a number rating.
Yeah.
So, where is it? Yeah, so,
I'm gonna vamp for time. Here we go.
yeah. Of course, it has to do its first time install again. Gotta love Steam.
Oh
I
dear.
got
Don't you just
a
love it?
scratch at the back of my
Wait.
throat.
Well, you
I hope
don't.
it's
You
not.
don't want that.
I hope it's not COVID.
Don't say that.
Can you imagine right before my new job? But yeah, so
So it's your first day, so we're just gonna go for orientation, and you've tested positive. Your orientation will be at home.
yeah. So, well, here, I'll go through a few quick things. My first game that I played with this new graphics card was Minecraft. And
Mm-hmm.
I got probably close to a big old goose egg for performance bonus.
Mm-hmm.
So basically nothing. So I was
Not
like,
great.
yeah, it was not a great start. Um, so, well, here, does this show me my result? Yeah, here it goes.
Here we go. Here we go. Drum roll, please.
No results yet. How dare you?
Oh, that's weird.
What? I guess because it had to do its first time install again, it didn't save its results. Okay,
Wow. Okay,
well,
so yeah, definite goose egg.
yeah. So, okay, well, let's ignore that then. And so, Minecraft gave me a big old goose egg for performance. I
Mm-hmm.
virtually had the same FPS as everybody else in the server. And my CPU was running at about 40-50%, and my GPU was running at about 30 or 40%. So pretty high for
Yeah.
this GPU. At
Okay.
that point, I didn't really know what was high or what was low for this GPU. But,
Mm-hmm.
oh, actually, let's rewind a little bit. When I first plugged it in,
Yep.
when
Sorry.
I first plugged it in and hooked it up to my computer, it barely just fits in my case, and I have a big case. I thought I was gonna have to
Mm.
remove my hard drive. I have a modular hard drive thing on mine that I thought I was actually gonna have to remove to fit the card because of how long it is. Um,
Oof.
but it fit without me having to remove it, so that at least saved the hard drive spaces. Um, but there's a little auxiliary fan port on the graphics card.
Right.
So I was like, okay, whatever. It's probably for external fans. Sometimes you have graphics airflow fans to keep the air flowing past the graphics card.
Mm-hmm.
So didn't think anything of it. So then I turned my computer on. The graphics card fans don't turn on.
Uh,
I'm in panic mode. I'm like, tell me I didn't just fucking spend $1,000 on a graphics card that I can't even run because it's gonna overheat. So I was like, well, you know what? There's one way to find out. Loaded up 3D Mark
yeah.
and benched it, and obviously it didn't give me my results.
Mm.
But as soon as the graphics card got or started getting used, the fans turned on. So panic averted. Um,
Good.
it's just the fans don't run if it's cold, which I didn't even know was a thing.
So hold on. It has power saving fan operation.
Yeah,
Oh.
but that makes sense because the graphics cards really want to be warm for good current flow. Like optimal
Yes.
current flow, they want to be warm or ice cold, like ridiculous, like superconductor cold.
So they
Um,
don't. Yeah. So they don't want to overheat.
yeah. So yeah, the fans just don't run if it's too cold, below 40 degrees Celsius or whatever that is, 120 degrees Fahrenheit for the Americans.
America.
But yeah, then after it's actually being used, they start running. So yeah, so that first panic was averted. But then I had another problem. I have a question for you, Ryan. Do you use display
Yeah,
ports?
no,
Who do you know anybody that uses display ports for any displays?
not really, not anymore.
So
Not unless it's my work computer.
yeah, so when you get a graphics card that comes with one HDMI port and 3
Mm-hmm.
display ports, what do you got to plug in?
Well, HDMI ports, right?
Well, it's only got one.
Uh, oh,
Do you run more than one monitor?
I do run more than one monitor, and you know
Huh.
what I do? I run them both HDMI.
Yeah, I have 3. I had on my old computer, I had my DVI-D, which to HDMI, because
Yeah,
most graphics cards came with the DVI-D. I think it's DVI-D. Maybe it's DVI. I don't know.
it was some sort of DVI port.
Yeah. So I had that one, and then I think my last graphics card had 2 HDMI's and a DVI, or no, I had a DVI-D and the DVI-M or whatever the other one is. The DVI-D-M or it's DVD-I and DVD-D or something. There's the 2 different ones. One has a plus in it, and one has just the line plug in it.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, they're almost identical. And I had adapters for both my side monitors to run off those. So then I get this graphics card, and I go into a panic. How am I going to survive with one monitor? Especially streaming, I need to be able to see my OBS. I need to be able to see Discord and stuff like that. Like, I was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? So another thing that I learned after putting this graphics card in, when I first built computers, as soon as I plugged in a GPU, my processor would disable its onboard graphics if it had it. Like, you would never have onboard graphics and a GPU. That's just
Mm-hmm.
basically known. Like, if you try to plug something into your motherboard after you've installed a graphics card, you usually don't get a display.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's not a thing anymore. Because I just, for shits and giggles, decided to plug the HDMI on my motherboard into one of my monitors.
Right.
And it worked. So I then plugged my other monitor into the VGA, because my side monitors have VGA. I now have 3 monitors, but my graphics card's only running my main. Which is a pro and a con, but if you go back to the beginning of this conversation, I said my processor's my weakest link.
Mm-hmm.
So if I put anything intensive on one of my 2 side monitors, it's running off my processor.
Oh.
So watching someone play a game on Discord or something is running on one of my side monitors, which now throttles my processor up more.
Oh God.
Or if I'm trying to stream something and put it, like, show it on the side monitor, it also throttles up more. So I now have to either pay attention more to what I put on those side monitors, or get some DisplayPort to HDMI adapters.
God damn it, man!
Like,
how have you managed to find? How have you managed to find the
negatives of
the worst situation for a brand new graphics card?
Yeah, well, I never would have expected them to put DisplayPorts in. Like, I get that DisplayPorts are very optimized for what they do. And that's the only reason I could see them being in there, is because they're so optimized for display. High-res display. But I'm running 1080p. I don't need DisplayPorts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm running 3 1080p monitors. I don't need DisplayPorts if they're all running on their own. Like, technically, I could run all of my monitors off of one DisplayPort and still have bandwidth to spare. So it came with some pros and cons, but I've worked it. Oh, thank you, Lily. Give me a good push.
Oh, Lily.
Lily came up beside my computer chair and decided to turn me. And
Ooh, what we got going on in Meta Business Suite here? Hi.
business suite?
Yeah, because we basically cross post everything over to the social medias when we go live on the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just got a message, just a message. They want a message request with me. It just says hi.
Hi.
Yeah,
Will you
hi.
add me so I can hack your account and spam
Yeah,
message all your people?
let's have a look here.
Lily's going psycho right now. Jesus.
I'm looking at the message. Yeah, it just literally says, "Hi, I'm a professional marketer." Well, hold on. I'm not going to name who this is, but let's just start off with some formatting here. Some like real formatting. I'm in capital letters, no punctuation. I'm a professional marketer promoter, comma, no space. DM me for your Twitch promotion and your design, logo, and other stuff. I'm sorry, but no. Goodbye.
Woo! Free stuff,
Goodbye.
man.
Free stuff. Yeah, all it requires is our bank details and a subscription to their service. No, no. I mean, no. Honestly, no. Honestly, it's just a new, yeah, just another you know, graphic design person
Yeah.
wanting stuff. Problem is, we're getting them all, and I'm trying to sort of let them down gently that we do have a couple of graphic designers. Unfortunately, they just work full time, so they're not
Yeah.
that, and they probably constantly need to kick up the arse. It's like, oh yeah, I'll do something for you 2 weeks later. Right, so what was that thing that you were doing?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. So
Yeah.
you
That's the
know,
one downside
that's
about being our age, and we're not making money off of the streaming or live casting or any of this stuff yet. So we can't
yeah.
exactly just quit our day jobs. So we're
Yeah, it
working.
is a bit of a weird thing. Yeah, it's like we're making no money. So how would we make money? Well, we're happy for you to make money. We just, if you buy our thing, you'll make money. It's like, no, that doesn't guarantee. Unfortunately, that doesn't
No.
guarantee anything.
Like a lot of things in life, they say you gotta spend money to make some, but unfortunately, unless I know I'm gonna get something back out of it, I'm not gonna spend any money on it.
Yeah, speculate to accumulate. Well, I speculate. I won't be accumulating. Though that being said, Immaterial Games is nearly going to get its first threshold for payment,
Woo!
and that immediately goes back into site hosting fees. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Uh, so
Oh,
that's the thing.
I never got to finish
Sorry, go on.
my
Yeah,
stories.
sorry. Finish your story.
My
Sorry,
benchmarking.
I got a message that just completely took it off. So
Yeah.
yeah, the benchmark. Here we
So
go.
in Minecraft, big old goose egg for benchmark performance bonus. So I was a little upset about that. I was like, well, maybe my processors really is limiting me more than I got around to. So I
Mhm.
decided there's a few games that I enjoyed playing before that I had to really lower my graphics to run. Those
Yeah.
games were Space Engineers, Ark, Survival Evolved, and
Mhm.
even to some extent Grand Theft Auto 5. So, first game I tried, Grand Theft Auto 5, had it installed still. And you want to know how much GPU I use while playing Grand Theft Auto 5 on max graphics?
Go on.
3%.
Okay.
It uses. I think the settings that I tweaked seem to use a lot more processor than graphics. It was using almost my full processor, and I wasn't getting very high FPS. So I think I got to go through it and tweak some things out because I think some of the settings are to help a graphics card that's struggling by using some of the CPU to try to balance some of the load.
Mhm.
So I got to go through it again, but I was using 3% of the GPU to run GTA quite well. The funny thing was, if I shared to Discord, shared my game to Discord, streamed it on Discord, it would
Mm-hmm.
automatically bump up to 35% GPU. It took more percentage to stream the video, more GPU to stream the video to Discord than it did to play the game.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So, but yeah,
Sounds
so
completely correct and true.
that was my first benchmark, which was outstanding. Like 3% GPU to run GTA at max graphics. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So my next benchmark was Arc. So I opened up Arc and cranked the settings and
Crank
it
that.
and
Yo.
foliage coverage everywhere. Like there's 100,000 blades of grass everywhere, and literally it's just like clusters of everything. Like you name it, it's everything. Shadows
Mm-hmm.
cranked up, everything, and I was getting 120 FPS, and the GPU was running 50%.
Hmm.
So definitely got a performance boost out of that because I had to have the graphics set way down before, almost to the lowest setting with my old card, and it still was juddery. Like it would get lag spikes that made it almost unplayable when you're in the middle of a fight with a dinosaur or something, and all of a sudden you're freezing for half a second. So then, Space Engineers, same thing. Crank the settings, 120 FPS, and it used 40% of my GPU. And that's with settings that I don't even need. Like, I just have them because I can. So, definitely a thumbs up for the benchmarking, but kind of a depressing thing when it comes to the ports on it.
Mm.
Because like it doesn't have a DVI-D port, doesn't it only has the one HDMI port, no micro HDMI ports. It just has one HDMI and 3 display ports. So
Right.
unless you're planning on using display ports or have display port adapters, it's going to be difficult for some people to run multiple monitors. Because I got lucky that I
Okay.
could run mine off of my motherboard, even though it's adding extra stress to it.
Right.
But yeah, actually, I'm kind of curious to see what my graphics card's running at right now.
Hmm. While you go do that, I'm just going to just you talk for a second, vamp for a minute. I'm just going to turn my Xbox on. There's a reason for it, and I'll tell the story when I get back. Um, you're not speaking.
Yeah, it might help if I wasn't clicked on an administrative window. So
Correct.
luckily you said that. So right now my
No
GPU is
worries.
running at 25 to 30%, and my CPU is running at 50% to do this stream while having the OBS program on my side monitor, which is the one that runs off the GPU. Um, so I'm very impressed with that. Seems to be very little to no lag. And yeah, very, very nice. But yeah, so like I said before, anybody looking to get the new 30 series cards, definitely take into account that it only has uh display ports for audio or for video output. It has one HDMI. So, it's a bit of a change from most of the older cards that had lots of different um, display capabilities. Oh, and
Okay.
there's also a shortage apparently of these DisplayPort to HDMI adapters at most of my local stores.
Of course there is.
Because now these cards are becoming available, people are taking all of those because they got to get their displays working.
Jesus.
Because I went to Best Buy to get some other stuff, like the computer case that I bought for my girlfriend so that she could use my graphics card, which still doesn't fit into her motherboard because of her shitty sized motherboard that she has. Um,
Yeah.
but we still got her a case that has RGB fans and all sorts of fancy colors, and so she's happy. But
Oh, good.
when I was there, I was like, well, they sell these adapters for DisplayPort to HDMI or DisplayPort to anything. Give me something. And they said, oh, we're all sold out because all these 30 cards are going out, and people are in the same boat as you, where they can't hook up their displays. The worst
Oh
part is,
dear.
like, they still have, like, you know how the cards take up 2 slots? They still
Mhm.
have the other slot open. Why didn't they just put some other DisplayPorts types in? Not DisplayPorts.
Uh. So you've got your problem with your graphics card, and might as well explain my problem right now. Well, I mean, to be fair, I did put it in our Discord. So for anyone who knows, I do the role play not in the game streams on Twitch. So that's generally the plan is to, play an RPG from beginning to end. Um, Either new RPGs or stuff that I've not tried before, or in the case of what we've done recently, one that was chosen by another member of Immaterial Gamers because I said I hadn't completed it, and that one was Final Fantasy X HD remaster. That's absolutely fine. The initial stream did not go well. First episode, downloaded it, I had it on Steam. Turns out Square Enix don't update their games on Steam that much, and so it doesn't work for Windows 10. So basically,
Lovely.
every problem that I could experience happened in that first episode. The game crashed about 5 times, and the game would just crash to desktop. And this is and it does have autosaves, but it doesn't autosave in like decent places, and particularly it doesn't autosave in the middle of a fucking cutscene. So if it crashed in the middle of a cutscene, which it did constantly, I'd have to start the cutscene again. In addition, I couldn't run the game in full screen mode because the CGI cutscenes, not the in-engine cutscenes, would be chroma green. It wouldn't show the CGI because it was just green. So that also happened, and then I ended up downloading a fix for it, which then the Steam version had like boosters or like other like options that you could do in game. No, pushing the button on the pad to activate to activate the booster window crashed to desktop, and we already know how I felt about that.
Oh, that's awesome. Just keep crashing to
So
desktop. How about that?
yeah, so I've been playing the Game Pass version on PC, which has been absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely fine. Recently, it's been having some sort of issues where the frame rate will just drop for like a couple of seconds every half an hour. But compared to crashing to desktop, I can deal with that. So that's all great. But then there was some news that come out today. Basically, Game Pass, Microsoft Game Pass always adds games every couple of weeks
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So like here are the games that are coming to Game Pass for the first half of May. Loot River, heard that looks cool. It's like a roguelike and Tetris at the same time. It's an action roguelike, but you've got to use spatial awareness Tetris style to move through the maps. It's like you're on a
Interesting.
river. It's called Loot River, so you've got to move everything together so you can actually get to the islands to do the fights and do all the stuff. Trek to Yomi, Citizen Sleeper, Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair Anniversary Edition, which is exactly the same as Danganronpa 2, except it's got concept art. That's fine. The art style is fucking cool, and if you like Pink Blood, have I got a game for you?
Pink blood.
Yeah, the idea is that it just fit with this whole like psychopop style that they were going for. It's like they want something that was like extremely violent. Well, something that led to murders because it's a visual novel. It's like an Ace Attorney detective game. Effectively, someone gets murdered, you have to do a trial for your life. But all the murders and the executions would all have this very punk pop art style. So while the novel explains, oh, the blood is red all over the floor, you as a viewer always see it's pink because it just fit with the thing.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I still need to speak to Andrea indeed to see when we're going to go through all those games because I may have said um, just out of thing that we were going to go through the entire series of games. So it's all four of them, the three visual novels and the highly derided third-person action adventure survival horror game.
Action adventure.
But yeah, so that's out there. There's another new RPG coming out, This War of Mine and NHL 2022. That's fine. But for all the games that they put on, they then remove games. So Grand Theft Auto being removed on the 10th of May. And then on the 15th of May, Enter the Gungeon, Steep, Remnant from the Ashes, The Catch, Carp, Coarse and Wild at Heart, and Final Fantasy 2 or 10.2 HD Remaster.
Yeah, but once you have it, can't you keep playing it?
No, because it removes the license.
I thought
The
once
Game
you
Pass license.
had it.
Mm-mm. No. No, you can only have it while they're on game. If you bought it, which you can buy all games on Game Pass for 20% off as a discount, which is great. Guess what's not in the fucking Microsoft store?
I'm gonna guess Final Fantasy.
Two-thirds! I'm two-thirds through the fucking game. I'm streaming a series on it. I was going to waste money to buy Final Fantasy X 10.2 HD Remaster for the third time, because I've got it on Steam. I also have it on Vita.
What the hell's Vita?
PlayStation Vita. Well, that
Oh, I
explains
don't
why the
play.
console. That's why the console died a death. Yeah. So I've already got it twice. I was willing to get it for a third time, and it's not in the store to purchase because it seems on the day that they've announced they're removing it from Game Pass, they've took it off the PC store. So now I'm sat here trying to see if I can jank something together. I'm currently, the reason I talked about going to get the Xbox pad is that I'm installing it on the Series S right now to see if it still keeps save data. Because if it keeps save data and it does what is it, Xbox Play Anywhere. If it can keep the save data on and still work, I'll buy it on the Microsoft Store for Series S and X
Just
and
so you
see
can
if I can
play it.
then cloud game it onto the PC so I can
Or get a
fucking
capture card.
carry on streaming.
You
Not
might
got
have.
that much money, dear God.
Capture cards are like $60.
Then that means I gotta get a capture card and then remember that the console is on the other side of the room.
And hopefully the controller doesn't have that disconnecting issue where if it's slightly too far, you
Well,
lose
well,
control.
I mean, at least to be fair on that, at least I could get worse with a oh no, the pad's dropped connection. What's going to happen? Oh, I'll have to wait 2 seconds to take my turn
Yeah, that's true.
to
It's a
get
it's
back
a
in
turn
range to take the
it's a
turn. 'Cause
turn-based game, so it's not that big of an issue. It's not like a racing
yeah,
game where you're going around a
yeah,
corner and all of a sudden your controller disconnects and you're going straight into the
yeah.
wall.
You see, you see. Here's the way I was dealing with this and how I felt about it is that the game comes as a bundle. 10 and 10.2 are a bundle, and I love 10. I despise 10.2. I've tried Martin, so it's the only one he's played. Honestly, Martin, if that's your introduction to Final Fantasy, mate, you're ruined. Anything else, and I say that as a guy who played. I say that as a guy who found Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns to be a tough sell.
Do you want to know what my favorite Final Fantasy game is? Because I'm not a big fan of the Final Fantasy.
Don't you dare say All the Bravest. Don't you dare say
Nope.
All the Bravest. Thank God for that, because that's a mobile piece of jank as well.
I liked Final Fantasy Tactics.
Hey, that's not bad.
I liked
Bad.
that one. That was
You can
more
get
my
worse than
style.
tactical RPGs. They're cool.
Yeah, that was my style. Like that's the one I liked.
Yeah.
I didn't really like
Uh,
the open world and random encounters kind of style.
I, to be honest though, I know you and your Microsoft, or like Minecraft. Sorry, not just Microsoft. You and your Minecraft things, and you always like making machines and stuff like that. Um, Final Fantasy 12 would have worked well for you
I don't think I've tried that
because
one, so maybe.
and the reason I say this is such. The main mechanic for Final Fantasy 12 was something called the Gambit system.
Okay.
So the idea is that you could set your party and your characters up. It basically use like basic code, if then and statements that you could do to technically auto fight encounters in the overworld of the game because there were no random encounters, just mobs would spawn.
Give me one sec. You keep
And
talking.
oh
I gotta deal with Lily.
oh no. So yeah, before I'm gonna explain the gambit system to Terry when he comes back because it's something of his to actually do. But yeah, so I'm stuck in a hole at the moment. It's not great. No, it's not great. I'm stuck in a hole. I've got what we are on the 3rd of May now. Yeah,
Yes, it's the
I've
3rd of May.
got 12. I've got 12 days to solve the Final Fantasy problem. That saves me basically doing 2 8-hour streams or something like that. Like basically having to do a 24-hour stream to finish the damn game in time.
Ah, you can do it.
Uh, no, I don't want to. I nearly died after 12 hours.
You can do
What's
it.
what's this? What's this? Mind? Do you want to say that again?
It didn't come through.
Lack of commitment. You can shove your lack of commitment up your ass. So yeah. So anyway, Gambit system because you were taking your headset off at the time. So yeah, you could theoretically because mobs would just spawn. You said you didn't like random encounters and stuff like that. I mean, if I remember right with tactics, they were basically sort of mission structured rather
Yeah,
than
it's been a
sort of
long
anything
time,
else than
so
that.
it's hard to
It
remember.
sort of plays. It plays almost like I'd say I'm probably doing it a disservice. Plays it almost like Fire Emblem and stuff like that. But yeah, generally there were tactical missions as opposed to
Yeah.
so like yeah. But yeah, so the mobs would just spawn the overworld. So theoretically, if you set your gambits up right, you could move your party into an area, turn gambits on, and you could go to work and come back, and your party will be full of loot and experience, and you'll be able to move on to the next story missions, and you just like the rest of the game would be a piece of piss.
Hmm.
Or more likely, you'd set it up. The gambit would go wrong somewhere. You'd miss one if-then statement, and you'd come back to see a giant game over
More likely
on
that
the
one.
screen. Yeah, but I feel that you get all your little coding stuff right. So I feel gambits would unlock. I mean, to be fair,
Not on my
to the
first
game as
try.
well,
Never on the
you could
first try.
yeah you couldn't set the gambit system right at the beginning to just AFK your way through the game because you'd have to unlock or purchase the individual lines
Yeah.
so that you could actually do it. Because generally, your gambit at the beginning would basically just be if enemy in area attack enemy, if health below 20% use potion.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't really work. I mean, you could do it if you like. You could set an easy gambit up to go and have tea,
Yeah,
have a
like a
meal,
little
but you
like
couldn't.
farm this area kind of thing.
Yeah, or if you wanted to like go for a bio break in the middle of your farming stuff, but then if you wanted to do the big stuff, you'd have to sort of keep it going. But yeah, so oh god, I need to solve the issue. I really do.
I'm sure you'll figure something out. Maybe a 24-hour
Uh,
stream twice a week.
or someone somewhere just has a gift card code that I can redeem for the PC version of Final
Well,
Fantasy X.
unfortunately, I don't think it's ever come out on Humble Bundle, so that's unlikely.
No, I'm wondering if part of the reason why this game's not on the Microsoft Store at the moment, is due to a news piece that we've actually got over the weekend, or like particularly, yeah, over the weekend, and just reported well, Bank Holiday Monday yesterday, which just have to go for an idea and let Terry know. Bank Holiday Monday in the UK is a thing.
Yeah, that's very strange to me.
Yeah, but yeah, this was the big news. I don't know why it would affect Final Fantasy because they're still keeping hold of it, but still,
Is this the Eurogamer one?
yeah. Yeah, Square Enix sells off Western studios and IP, including Tomb Raider and Deus Ex. So
Why?
basically, Square Enix, and well, this is the bigger one that comes up at the moment. It's just that, according to Eurogamer and a lot of other sites, yeah, Square Enix are looking at selling off all their studios, bar a select bunch of IP. The one that springs to mind is the Life is Strange, doing it just if it's point and click adventure games,
Yeah.
bit like Telltale games and stuff like that. But yeah, that means they're getting rid of Eidos Montreal, who do um, Deus Ex,
Yeah.
most recently, Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. Um, Square Enix Montreal, which obviously it can't be called Square Enix Montreal anymore if it's getting bought out, and Crystal Dynamics, who work on Tomb Raider and the current Marvel Avengers Persistent World game that they've got at the moment, and Guardians of the Galaxy, which was actually a decent storyline game. I still suggest everyone should play because it's actually quite cool. Um, it's the bit that says that they're being bought by Embracer Group, who own THQ Nordic and Gearbox, to
Okay,
name a
so
couple.
pretty big. Pretty big.
Pretty big group. Yeah, but here's the price. How much do you think they bought it for, or in principle they're buying it for? The
Um,
deal hasn't gone through yet.
400 million?
Did you look at the price beforehand?
No,
By the way,
actually, I did
because
not.
no, because if someone said 400 million, they'd be saying that you're a fucking liar, because that's dirt cheap. It's cheaper than that. 300.
Wow. I was going low, like the fact that they're getting
Yeah,
rid of it.
you were lowballing it
Yeah.
just to. So yeah, just the fact that it's even lower is a bit mental. What it's suggesting is that Square Enix is in real trouble. Um, their Western divisions aren't just coming up stuff, and let's be honest, Japanese properties basically come down to Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy. Really, I mean, especially over here in terms of big names. So,
That's
Martin was just saying that yeah, Final Fantasy was the only one he could have named by
yeah.
Square.
I didn't know
Um,
Deus Ex was owned by the same company.
yeah, there was a big massive thing. Eidos were their own company, and then they were bought out by themselves. There's something weird about Eidos Interactive. There was
How
I
does
don't know
one
if
buy out themselves?
um, it's weird. Eidos Interactive and Eidos, the company, were like two separate entities at one point. One renamed and stuff like that. There's a video by H Bomber guy. He's a big video essay guy. It was like um, a 3 hour video essay on how Deus Ex Human Revolution is good. It's just like it's okay
I like that
because
game.
he usually does basically X thing is awesome and here's why, or X thing is awful and here's why. So it's like he did like put the laser away, man.
I had to.
Jesus Christ.
Right,
Um,
it's just like what the hell?
but yeah, so it's like it was basically like Sherlock is garbage and here's why, or Pathologic 2 is awesome and here's why. So but for Deus Ex Human Revolution, it was is okay and here's why. But yeah, he explains the convoluted structuring of Eidos stuff. But Crystal Dynamics is a big thing because, like I say, like other than Tomb Raider, their big sort of project at the moment is Marvel's Avengers as
Which
a like a
is
Destiny style persistent loot grindy.
yeah, which is a big
It's a
title.
ultimate shooter
Yeah.
as they call it. Yeah, so it's their big title. Now I saw another piece of news that apparently just said that like Square Enix has lost 200 million overall on Avengers, but that still doesn't make sense to me
I could see it being an expensive
considering
title to buy.
microtransactions.
Yeah. But I can see it being an expensive one to buy. But
Mm,
yeah, like they'll probably get it back.
yeah.
Like I don't know, man.
But that being said, there was two words that always signified performance according to Square Enix. Just two simple words. Below expectations. According to basically shareholders and higher ups at Square Enix, they haven't done a successful video game for the past 15 years because everything has fallen short of their expectations. It's just like expecting like Tomb Raider, the rebooted Tomb Raider, which was a good game. It sold like quite a few million copies, but when Square Enix unrealistically expected it to sell 10 times that amount,
Yeah,
it's
it's like Elon expecting to go to the Mars and only goes to the moon and then says, "I failed." You still
yeah,
did amazing if you go to the moon. Like,
yeah, yeah.
I had to
It's
put
just
his name in.
madness.
It's sort of an ongoing
The
thing now.
I love,
I say his
I
name
love you
every
went
week.
the Elon as well, just like
Exactly.
the Elon.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
the Elon
the
is not
Elon.
involved in. Yeah, Elon is not involved in this news. Just as a reminder in regards to this, this is the Kotaku article, Terry. COVID is still around. As much as some
Yeah.
countries' world leaders would want you to just like admit that it's over, um, not true. It's still around. It's still, causing chaos. Um, there's scientific studies going on all the time in regards to. Particularly, there was one that I'd heard on Sky News talking about sort of cognitive functions in adults um, going down in sort of like sort of people our age losing 10 IQ points in the best way of talking about cognitive reduction, um, something that they wouldn't expect unless you were in your 50s to 70s.
It's just kind of scary.
There's another thing of long COVID. Yeah, it's like the whole idea of brain fog, fatigue, and misremembering, or like not being able to dig up, certain words, stuff that would be, you know, coming up to, like say, late 60s, 70s, maybe at that point, early onset Alzheimer's or dementia, stuff like that, just happening in normally healthy adults that have had
Yeah.
COVID and stuff like that. But yeah, the story is PAX, the big convention, had, it was probably one of their first massive conventions since
The
the
last two
world's
years. Yeah.
gone back. Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like it's took someone a so like they basically have like volunteers to help people get round, provide helping hands. They call them enforcers. Um, yeah, it turned out one of the enforcers had caught COVID at the event and um, on Saturday died due to
That's
complications
yeah, that's shitty.
from COVID. Says Dawn D Star Wood, um, one of the as they had, if you can look for popular enforcers if we go, because enforcers from what I've overheard, don't always go to for notoriety or anything like that. They're there to volunteer, doing something they enjoy, and that's how that sort of works. But yeah, just as you know, it's not gone. It's just as simple as that. You can't just
Yeah.
sweep it under the rug and go, right, guys, that's over now. It's the flu. It's nothing more than that. You babies. Eh, yeah, look, I'm naturally immune. Blah blah blah. Yeah,
Until you're not.
I've only suffered from it 5 times.
Yeah. Until you're
Yeah,
not, or
naturally
until it
immune.
gets you.
Yeah, naturally immune. You know what I say on that? Fuck yourself. Sorry, don't like it. Well, we're already not a big massive particular stream. If you have stumbled upon my hatred of anyone who like decides that it's something like that, to be honest, you weren't really worth the view in the first place. Yeah, bye, fuck you later. So right, anyway, so that's just got rid of like maybe a couple
Nobody.
of people who might have stumbled around.
Nobody.
Yeah, nobody important, clearly. So yeah, that's come up, and oh god, the news doesn't get better there. So you remember there's currently this invasion going on
Oh, I
in
heard
in,
about
in
something
Europe.
about this in
Yeah,
Ukraine and stuff.
so in Ukraine, so Russia and the president. Well, look, we're already banned in Russia. We're banned in China already. That's a running joke from 194 weeks ago. The second episode of our podcast was literally called "Banned in China."
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so like how symbols can define armies and movements during wars, particularly in the fact of World War Two. And I've got to be careful of what I'm saying here. Just the idea of the old Buddhist symbol that then became the swastika,
Yeah.
um, and basically became what symbolized the Third Reich and the Nazi regime during World War Two. So Russia, their pro-war movement is just the letter Z. And so that's now just signifying of those who support the Russian movement. It's not to say that all Russian platoons and troops invading Russia are all just wearing a giant Z on the chest, but it's the thing that's supposed to show the support. And they can get away with that because you're not going to realize. Yeah, you can outlaw and remove the swastika from video games and stuff like that. You can't really get rid of a letter, can you? It's
No.
it's a thing. I mean, you can get rid of if it's symbolized, you can get rid of it, but that's fine. So, esports, like real sports, are going on a zero tolerance approach to supporting supporting the Russian advance into Ukraine. We've had it with like proper sports over. We've got Wimbledon, our big
Yeah, yeah.
tennis event coming up, and Russian and Belarusian players are banned from taking part in the tournament, regardless of whether they support the regime or not.
Yeah, well,
Because
it's to punish the people to try to get them to stand up.
well, part of that's one thing, but that means, like I say, we've got a lot of like anti-Russian sentiment or anti-war Russian athletes not being able to take part because of the fact of the simple matter of should they win the tournament, it's propaganda. Not of their
Yeah.
own making. They didn't intend for that, but it's happened. So we look at esports and Dota 2, that little like that little known game from Valve, the sequel to the ARPG that spawned it all, Defense of the Ancients, League of Legends, and do you remember Heroes of Newerth?
I remember Dota when it was on
Like Battle.net.
Warcraft 3, I think it
Yeah,
was. Was it
custom
Warcraft
game.
3?
Yeah, it was a Warcraft
Yeah.
3 custom game. Um, and it was like Dota All Stars was the big one, and then
Yeah.
sort of like Riot sort of formed from people like there was this like things like collaborative efforts. Like I think I remember right, the original guy who did Dota ended up working with Valve. It was like Iceman, I think his name was, or something like that. Became sort of part of the Dota 2 project, whereas a couple of people who worked on Dota All Stars ended up with League of Legends and
Yeah,
how that
like
all
Ice
formed.
Frog and
And
a few of those names.
Ice Frog, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's sort of come up. So anyway, Dota 2, there's a qualifier for a tournament, and a Russian player, Ivan Pure Moskalenko, was taking part in this tournament. Um, what he seems to have done though is he's got him and his entire team banned for drawing a giant letter Z on the in-game map.
With
He,
what? Wards or something?
uh, yeah, I can, but no, I think he was like, you can maybe ping it or something like that.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, because it's either going to be
Um,
wards or pings or something. Like, it has to be something that would stand out. You can't
yeah.
just have traveled in
Ah,
that line.
so there was a pause, according to Yahoo and the PC Gamer article that we've got on this. Yeah, so the pause had happened in the match. Um, Oh, interesting as well. Yeah, they couldn't be a Russian team because they'd already banned Russian teams from playing, so they had to play as a like an independent, or as they call it in the article, an outsider.
Okay.
So so it's like for the Olympics, Russian athletes can take part, or they could, but they couldn't fly the Russian flag, so they were
Yeah.
just part of the Olympic team, stuff like that. But yeah, so he drew. It turns out on pause you can draw, like physically draw on the map, sort of
Okay.
discuss stuff. Generally, something that I've heard in like tournaments you shouldn't be doing. You shouldn't be discussing strategy during pauses. You're only supposed to be discussing that in game because it provides
Yeah, it gives you too much
messes
time.
up an advantages. Yeah. But yeah, he drew the letter Z on the map, and it was there. His team realised what he did and tried to scribble over it, but it got caught, and yeah, the team has been basically kicked out of the qualifiers because of it, which absolutely makes sense. You know, it's fucking stupid. It's like,
Even if you're being silly, it's nothing to be joking about.
yeah, I mean, yeah, and let's take into account because we know that the esports scene sometimes, has. Let's say I love watching esports stuff. Like I say, we do the fantasy league, and the reason that we do the fantasy league is in part to satiate my ego of loving sort of esports.
Where's your
And
hat?
yours
Where's your
uh,
hat?
is in the other room. Give me 1 second, damn.
I can't believe he doesn't even have his hat on. He's gonna talk about esports, and he's not even wearing his XL hat. Like, what a guy! I don't even know what to say to him. I don't even know what to say to this guy. Uh, way to go,
But
Ryan.
yeah, there we
I
go.
am ashamed. You're gonna talk about
You're ashamed.
esports, and you don't even have your XL hat on.
Well, I've got my answer. You know what would have been easier, by the way, Terry, is if
What's
I
that?
just lifted up my left hand.
Oh, yeah, that
I've
probably
got
would be
the
easy.
XL wristband on, for God's sakes. But yeah, so yeah, I love the esports, but it cannot be argued really that there is still a maturity problem.
Yeah,
Sort of this sort of idea of memes and trash talk and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, but other sports do that. It's like, yeah, but other sports don't do it the way that esports sometimes does it. So it can be a problem. And let's be honest, you can't get away now if you're trying to be a big thing. If you're trying to compare yourself to sport and you want to be a sport, you can't just turn around and go, "Oh, we were just trolling. We just wrote the letter Z. We don't actually support the war. Don't be stupid." Well, that's not going to make you've made that impression in seconds,
yeah.
and
Anybody that
it
can
doesn't
see it,
matter at that point.
you don't. And on the internet now, anything that goes
Hmm.
there is there. Like,
Yeah.
especially okay. Sometimes you can get away with like if say it's a live stream that has like no viewers.
Hmm.
If it's just live and then it's gone, it's unlikely that anybody's ever going to see that again. It's still
Hmm.
there technically in the background on some server, some database somewhere. But
Yeah.
the
I
likeliness
mean,
of it ever showing up again is nothing. Because there's so much
hmm.
data out there that's just
Yeah.
in databases. But if you're in an event that has even just 100 viewers,
Mm. I mean, I should explain this one. It was an ESL licensed event, and ESL is Europe's biggest sort of independent live
yeah,
streaming sort of company. So, to take into account, the League of Legends European Championships used to be an ESL event, and now it's all in house at Riot. So
okay.
that's just sort of how
But
that is. But
even,
yeah, so they're on a big stream. So the
yeah, but like I was saying, even if it's just 100 people,
yeah.
one person it takes half a second to hit a print screen button on your keyboard.
Hmm.
On your phone, half the time it's a hotkey on your phone. My phone is volume down and power button, takes a
Yep.
capture of the screen.
Done. Easy.
And
And then
that
it's
is
all it takes.
everywhere. one
Yeah.
post, and it can blow up and just be everywhere, and you could offend
It's on
millions.
Twitter and it's trending in
Yeah,
minutes.
and you could offend millions of people in no time, even if you didn't mean to.
Mm. And
So
see, yeah, and it's just so mad, you know. This long in, I mean, the invasion and the war has been going on for nearly 2 months now. Um, it'll be like a couple of weeks from
yeah,
actually, it's probably going for 2 months. It's coming up into its third.
well,
Um,
just this portion of it, it's been going on for
well, yeah, I mean,
decades,
yes,
but
technically, it's been happening since 2014, but
yeah,
this big offensive has been going on since then, and sort of the news that's been going on. So, intentional or otherwise, just mean, it's
I hate to say it,
no,
the kid's not a 60 or 70-year-old man who doesn't know what the internet is.
yeah, he's
It,
grew up on this.
yeah,
He's
he like if your father or something posted something on the internet that was offensive to somebody, you might go and say,
mm,
hey, don't do that. There's a lot of people out there that might see it and get offended.
mm.
But
Oh,
if
I'm hoping
it's
I'm not reading up into this in the comments. By the way, someone said the opponent team that they were actually playing consisted of Ukrainian players.
that would be really fucked up.
Uh, I would have to. Yeah, it doesn't. There isn't anything that's come up on it. It's a comment, so it's not
Yeah.
something I would verify. I'd probably just take that
But even
as
still,
unverified.
yeah,
But
even still, it doesn't matter if there's Ukrainian players or not. It's still it's such a shitty situation that's going on.
hmm
So even okay, I'm gonna even give him some leeway, even if he believes that the war is correct.
hmm
Keep it to yourself. Like
yeah,
you just brought your whole team down, and for what? Like, in my opinion, it's the stupidest war ever.
hmm
And but just I don't get it. Just keep it to yourself.
yeah.
Don't
It's
joke
not something
around.
that should be popping up. It's not a It's not a point scoring propaganda exercise in your game.
Yeah,
Especially when we have a lot of situations where the gamers would say keep your politics out of our video games.
yeah.
Well, that's not likely going to happen anymore, unfortunately. It's just the way the world works. But in this particular case, you can't be using, yeah, uh, just pisses
It's
me off.
yeah, it's sickening.
Just out of order is the best thing, but well, the best description for that. But yeah, sorry to end it again on another downer.
Well, I thought I was just about
Well,
to ask, are we gonna try to beat last week's record?
last week's what longest video
Yeah,
podcast?
1 hour and 17 was it?
Yeah,
Me and
yeah.
Duncan just chatting away.
Yeah, I didn't. By the way, I didn't get to what did you slight me about? By the
Oh,
way,
I don't
yeah,
remember. I just remember bringing you up for something. And
I tried skimming through and I couldn't find anything. Just I heard a lot of Minecraft talk.
oh, I think it was literally just a joke about how you're always doing all of our videos and stuff like that, and how I think
Mm,
the League of Legend or no, sorry, the Magic the Gathering one came up. I was like,
yeah.
oh, I'll just Ryan's good at that. I'll just let him do it or something like that. I think it was something like that.
Ah,
But
right. Yeah. No, that your like I said,
I
that
really got to
project's
finish
your
those.
own.
I really got to finish those because that's what 2 years ago now.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
even
it
think the
was
sets we were playing with are now the sets that are currently.
no, and I'm pretty sure it was before COVID. So actually, I know it was before COVID. So it's over two
Oh
years now.
God!
I could
Wow!
check the files. I'm
Wow!
sure they'll have dates on them. So
Yeah, they will. In fact, I'm sure I still have access to OneDrive here. I can just
yeah, it's still in the public folder.
hold on. Let's have a look. OneDrive. Here we go. We'll just find it. Where are we? Oh, welcome to your new office, Ryan. Oh
Week
God, get
one,
off.
uh, 9/27/2020.
927. So right, okay, so we were 6 months in
Were we?
to the yeah, because that's September.
Yeah, I guess we were.
It was sort of like
I
the
feel like
first
that's
lockdown we had
wrong.
here was sort of April
Yeah, but I feel like that was wrong.
2020.
Like, I don't think we were in. I really don't think we were in COVID when we were doing that.
Hold on. Do we not still have them like the MTG chat, MTG tournament info?
Yeah.
Hold on, we can go up to first round here. Hold on. Yeah,
Well, it
no,
was in
you announced the
2020.
tournament. Yeah, you announced the tournament on the 17th of September.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we were like 5 6 months in at that point.
Huh. For some reason, I don't remember anything being COVID related during that.
Yeah,
But I guess it kind of makes sense because
like
everybody
it
was
doesn't
sort of
really.
like sitting at home. We were all trying to figure out what the hell was going on.
Yeah,
So,
at that point we had a lot more time on our hands because I think by that point I was back in work because I did have like 2 3 months of furlough, and then so it was just like, oh, we're safe. We're an important business. We we know someone who has an ambulance that needs a tow
yeah.
bar on it anyway.
I gotta go
I'll,
through
I'll
those
keep
and
that. I'll keep
figure
that
out.
to myself. But
I gotta try to figure out the scheduling. I gotta see if I can find what the scheduling was supposed to be for it. Um, that way,
well,
I
like I
can try
say,
to get those
everything's
videos
still on
together.
the
Yeah,
everything's still on that list. So
as long as everything got uploaded, um, I should be able to go through it. I just gotta figure out the scheduling so that I can hook them up because
mhm.
the send files here folder is a little overrun. But yeah, I should probably try to get those done. At least we can have that video.
Mhm.
I'm not quite 100% sure how it's going to go. It might just be like bulk video uploads or something like that. Some of them have video from
Mm.
both sides. So I got to figure out how I want to deal with that.
Yeah.
But
We'll see how it goes.
yeah,
I've still got a couple of projects that I want to do. I want to actually get this sort of rhythm game project sort of in. I've got a couple of videos I've got a video for one episode of the project, and then I've got to sit there and let's just say it this way: I'm enjoying the game Spin Rhythm at the moment again, and it has a custom mode, and to do some of the custom songs, you have to chart the songs yourself or download the charts from SpinShare, which is like a fan site where you can download the levels. Problem is, everyone on there has spiders for hands compared to old video game arthritis fingers here. So I want to chart my own stuff, but I want to do something. I want to do my take on it, a little twist. But um, we'll just see how that goes.
yeah,
And there's sort of other stuff. Like I say, we've got the streaming that's coming up. Hopefully, let's say hopefully we can solve the Final Fantasy issue. But we've got all these streams happening. Like I say, we now got the idea that Monday's going to be like from
yeah. Next one's
after
going to be a
next week,
standard week for the
and
podcast,
then
and then after that
so the
will
week
be
after. Yeah, so the week after is Monday's own, where I think currently at the moment me, Steph, and Dee are hijacking that at this point to carry on playing Kill Squad, which really
sort of like
enjoyable game. I
yesterday.
kind of like it. Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's like we were playing like for those who've played Helldivers, it's kind of like that except no friendly fire, so it's all great. Helldivers are from the people who made Magicka, so
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know what their friendly fire is like.
And it's going to be a
Oh,
lot of
I cast
jokes.
Crash to desktop. Oh no, no, oh, no, look, there goes Steph. So, yeah. Right.
Well, at
Have
least
you
I
got
still
anything
have the
else?
scores for the Magic the Gathering tournament, so I know what the
Good.
scores are.
Oh, good, good. So we still know who the winner is.
Yeah,
Not that any of yous are knowing. Yeah,
we knew.
you,
I told
there
them.
in the front row.
We told them on one of the one of the
Did we
podcasts.
actually tell them? Did we actually tell them who? What did
I
we actually tell the
remember.
audience who won the tournament?
Yeah, I remember putting it onto OBS in text over the screen over our images for about. I think it was up there for about 8 seconds or something like that, and then I deleted it. So they gotta go
Way.
back a lot of videos, somewhere around
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, we're not
November of
going. Yes.
2020.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. You go do that yourself. Or we're not going to tell you.
Nope. We'll
So
save that for when I finally finish them.
yeah. Oh dear.
Uh,
Right.
oh,
I.
we forgot something.
Oh, what we forgot?
Our new
Oh, a feature.
yeah.
Our feature. Our recurring feature.
So
Oh
here it
God, you're right. Well, we
comes.
can wrap the podcast up with that. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll say our goodbyes. So here it comes.
Has anyone here played Elden Ring this week?
I still haven't. Have you?
No, me neither.
Well,
And there we go. And that was.
the easiest way to end. That was the Elden
Yeah.
Ring. I'm not putting it up again. I've already got the outro set up.
Completely forgot how, like, has anybody here played Elden Ring this week?
Yeah, well, the worst part
No,
is I
no,
asked him
still,
about it before we started. He's like, "Yeah, we're still doing that."
yeah. I should probably, like, I mean, the joke is that has anyone played it, and we just go no,
Yeah,
and then we just sort of move on. But no, realistically, I'm looking at it and I'm tempted. I'm just not there to pay full price for it at the
yeah,
moment. I'm not. I've been burnt by Souls-like games before, and even if this one, and I say this with the biggest quotation marks and caveats of it, if this one is the most quotation accessible of the Souls-like games, I'm still not there yet.
yeah,
So I don't want to be spending I don't want to be spending 40 money on on a game that I'm not going to play.
yeah. I know the feeling. But yeah, so
um,
if you like what you see, like, share,
and
follow,
here,
subscribe, and here. Audio versions are available everywhere you get podcasts, Amazon, wherever you want to go.
absolutely,
So
yeah,
yeah, thank you for listening,
it's all
and
good.
we'll see you next week.
Have a good one,
Bye.
guys.